Hello mathematicians. Just to review what we did today in class, we looked at different division strategies going from the least efficient to much more efficient. That's what we were doing today. So really quickly, just to remind you, we were taking 63 as our dividend, our whole group, dividing it by our divisor 4. And we were using here the fair share strategy. And I labeled it as slow because gosh darn it, it's pretty slow. If you remember the story we had in class, we had 63 balloons divided among 4 different tables. So here we have an example of 4 different tables or 4 different groups, and I just used tally marks. I equally shared. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I kept going and equally sharing until I ended up with 5, 10, 15. 15 in each group. Let me just double check. 15 here, 15 here, 15 here, and 15 here. Each group of 4 has 15 balloons. 15, but I had 3 left over. That's what these tally marks are. 3 left over, so my remainder was 3. 63 divided by 4 was 15. 15 balloons in each table with a remainder of 3. I could not share these balloons anymore. I could not cut them because they would pop. The context of the story said the balloons would pop. Now if I were using brownies, which we did also, we could then take these 3 brownies and continue to partition or cut them up into smaller parts, so then we equally share those smaller parts. We'll get back to that. But after using fair share, which is quite slow, and it's really easy for small numbers. This is great for 3rd graders or 4th graders, but it gets to be a problem in 5th grade. So here we used a different strategy, and oh my god, it just took forever. This strategy here is just repeated subtraction. So here, repeated subtraction is another way to show division or equal sharing. Same thing, 63, we're starting with 63, dividing it by 4. So we can use both of these to help us out. For example, I start at 63 balloons, and I give 1 balloon to each table. That means I'm subtracting 4, or 1 group of 4. 63 minus 4 is 59. So I still have 59 balloons. I'm going to equally share them, equally distribute to the 4 other tables. 59 minus 4 is 55. I subtracted 1 more group of 4 balloons. Now I have 55 balloons in my hand. I'm going to do the same thing, equally share. 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. That means I took away 4 more balloons, or 1 more group of 4. I kept going and going and going and going and going and going, subtracting that 4, subtract 4, subtract 4, subtract 4, and I ended up with a remainder of 3. Well, look, the remainder is exactly the same. And here I have 15 groups of 4. For example, 1 group of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I was able to equally distribute those balloons 15 times. So each table has, again, 15 balloons. And I ended up with my remainder of 4. And by this point, kids are like, oh my god, I can't take it anymore. I don't want to use these slow strategies. So here's another strategy, partial quotient. It's so much more efficient. And inside the word partial, you see the word part. So we're basically taking these and breaking them up into parts so that I can subtract in a larger part or a larger group to make my work easier. So for example, I circled these in green. For example, 1 group of 4, 2 groups of 4, 3 groups of 4, 4 groups of 4. So I'm taking all of this information, 4 groups of 4, and I'm switching it over here. Here's 4 groups of 4 times 4 equals 16. So 4 groups of 4. 4 groups of 4 equals 16. So all of this has been compressed or shrunk down to just here. 63 minus 16 is 47. And if you take a look, there's my 47. So I took all of this and shrunk it down right there. Now I have 47 balloons, and I'm going to take away 4 again. So this time, I'm going to take 1 group of 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to take all of these that I circled in pink and compress them or shrink them down to right here. 7 groups of 4 is 28. That's like taking my balloons and going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 different times. 7 groups of 4 is 28. So I start with my 47, I subtract 28, use my regrouping, and I end up with 19 balloons left over. So if I look at all this, there's my 19 balloons left over. So now I have 19 balloons, and if you notice, I'm just going to compress or subtract these in a much more efficient strategy. There's 1 group of 4, 2 groups, 3 groups, 4 groups. 4 groups of 4. 4 groups of 4 is 16. So I can take away 16 more balloons, basically giving each table a balloon 4 different times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That would be a total of 16 balloons that I distributed to those tables. 19 balloons in my hand, subtract 16, 4 groups of 4, is 3. I have my remainder of 3, it's right there. And here, I'm saying 4 groups of 4, plus 7 groups of 4, plus 4 groups of 4. If I add all these partial quotients, 4 plus 7 plus 4 is 15. And I have my remainder of 3. I still have my remainder of 3. Now remember, in 5th grade, we talk about the context of our story. So for example, if we have 3 balloons remaining, I cannot cut them up and share them equally among different groups. But if I have brownies, and I have 3 brownies remaining, yep, I can take a knife and I can cut those brownies into equal parts and then continue to distribute them. Later on, we talk about cars. So for example, 4 people can fit in a car. If we have 63 people going to the park and only 4 people can fit in a car, how many cars would you need? Well, we would need 15 cars, but we'd have 3 people left over. Think about the context of the story. Do we leave those 3 people behind? Like, oh yeah, why? Why did you leave me behind? We're going on a field trip. No. This would be an example of where the context of the story tells us we need to round up. So instead of having 15 cars that holds 4 different people, we would say we actually need 16 cars. Yeah, one of those cars would only have 3 people in it, but at least everybody would be going to the park or the field trip. So the context of the story depends on what we do with the remainder. And you need to think in your head, do I want to do fair share, which is a slow strategy but gets the job done? Do I want to use repeated subtraction, which looks like a nightmare and lots of opportunities for many, many mistakes? Or do I want to start working more efficiently and grouping or condensing that subtraction, minus 4, minus 4, minus 4, minus 4, well, minus 4, minus 4, minus 4, minus 4, that's 4 groups of 4, which is 16. So here I just subtracted 16, just made my life a lot easier. And then I subtract 28, which is 7 groups of 4, and here I subtracted 16 again, which was 4 groups of 4 again. End up with the same quotient, 15 remainder of 3, 15 remainder of 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 remainder of 3. Or here, 5, 10, 15, 15 on each table, or each group, with a remainder of 3. So those are 3 different strategies for division, and we've also talked about how context of the story determines what you do with the remainder. Good luck.